All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. All signs are pointing to Klay Thompson having a new basketball home when the 2024-2025 NBA season begins. After being unable to come to an agreement on a new contract with the Golden State Warriors, Thompson will be seeking a new basketball home this summer. Reports have surfaced that Thompson plans to talk with the likes of the Los Angeles Lakers, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Philadelphia 76ers about potentially joining one of these clubs for next season. Now, Thompson is 34 years of age, and the injuries have really hindered him in recent years. And it all started, unfortunately for him, with that ACL injury that occurred during the 2019 NBA Finals. Thompson missed the entire 2019-2020 NBA season, and as he was rehabbing for the following year, he suffered that Achilles injury that kept him out. So he basically missed 2 full years right there. And unfortunately for Klay, he was never and he hasn't been the same player since those injuries. I mean, one is tough to come back from. Now, both that's a hard ask right there. And you look at it, maybe, and I'm just speaking hypothetically here because I do believe the full story is going to come out soon. But was Clay looking for one of those thank you contracts that he just saw like the likes of Draymond Green get from the Golden State Warriors? And possibility. Okay, I could be wrong there. But nonetheless, it's one of those where at the end of the day, it's a what have you done for me lately type business. And the NBA, like everything else, the NBA is a business. And I don't know what his asking price was specifically from the Warriors, but they look like they're going in a different direction. And it looks like it's the end of the line for something that was very special. And I think for any of those Warrior fans out there in the Bay Area, it's one of those where I hope that they appreciated the run that this team had. Because, I mean, to me, I think the Warriors championship window has closed. They tried, they gave it one last push this past season, but it's not there anymore. Too many elements are no longer there as far as the players, age, injuries, the front office, you name it. And at the end of the day, the writing is on the wall, and simply nothing lasts forever. But if Clay does find a new NBA home next season, which I do think he will, um, it's one of those where it's going to close the book on a tremendous run in the Bay Area for both him and the Warriors. You think about him and Steph Curry as the Splash Brothers, and you think how vital that Klay Thompson was to those four championship banners that have been hung by the Warriors since 2015. They do not get that done without him. And at this point, again, all signs point to Klay leaving. Basically, it's Steve Kerr, Draymond, and Steph Curry as the last element from that championship run. Now, I will say this: whatever team that Klay Thompson signs with for next season, he's going to find an NBA home. Okay, they're going to get themselves a very motivated player. But the other side of the coin is how much does he have left in the tank? Okay, but I think Klay, he's going to have something to prove because him not getting a deal done from the Warriors. I'm not saying that the Warriors feel that Clay is finished, but I do feel that the Warriors feel like they're not going to bring him back at the price tag that he's probably looking for. Okay, but you look at the teams that he's rumored to be willing to or ready to go talk with. You got the Mavericks, the Lakers, the Clippers, and the 76ers. Part of Clay, I feel, wants to still go out there and try to win a championship. But I think part of Clay as well wants to go out there and maybe try to stick it to the Warriors, which would make one of those Western Conference teams, the Clippers, the Lakers, or the Mavericks, as the perennial favorites. I'm not going to throw the 76ers out of this just due to the fact that maybe Clay sits back and sees who signs with those clubs first and says, hey, you know what? Maybe then, I will, dip my foot in the water after that and see where I'm going to land for next season. Don't get me wrong. The Warriors, they had a veteran laden team last year. It was a reach that it was going to work. I think, you know, it really went downhill very quickly, if you will, after Golden State's last championship in 2022. Some people thought that the Magic was still going to be there after that, but that team got old, okay? And the pieces around the star players weren't there like they once were. You're talking about Klay Thompson, one of the best players to ever suit up for the Golden State Warriors. Uh, when it's all said and done, he will be in Springfield in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Make no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay. But at the end of the day, very rarely in sports do we see a guy that can say, hey, he played his entire career with one team. Very rarely does it happen. Okay. So when it's all said and done, I think Clay will find a new home. I think he'll land on his feet. It's just going to be interesting to see how much he has left. But at the end of the day, he will always be a Golden State legend. And I guarantee you, it's going to be weird seeing him in a different uniform next season, if you want to call it that, just due to the fact that a lot of the NBA teams right now wear so many different variations of uniforms throughout the year. But nonetheless, it's going to be very interesting or very weird seeing him come out of the visitors' locker room in San Francisco next season. But nonetheless, all signs point to this being the end of the line for Klay Thompson with the Warriors. It was a heck of a run. I don't think either side has anything to be ashamed of. Like I said before, it's just the nature of the business. And let's see where Klay Thompson will be playing basketball at next season. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line to be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.